All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Breathesober Transformations. Yet again, I have somebody very special with me. Today, we're going to be meeting with Loretta. Loretta is out of Toronto and an amazing, amazing person to work with. She's got an incredible journey of transformation that was not without its challenges, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And of course, the effort is to highlight, as difficult and as impossible this kind of transformation might seem, especially when we've been working on it and trying and all the different things, and things are not really clicking. It damages you. It damages your self-confidence. It damages your belief in yourself. And our effort today is to highlight what is possible and how. So with that, Loretta, welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing very well, Hamza. Thank you. How are you?
I am great. So Loretta,
Thank you for having me.
would love to hear a little bit more about, if you could tell us a bit more about who you are, what you do, and then we'll get into it.
Sure. I'm Loretta. I'm 47 years old. I'm currently working with individuals who are homeless and many struggling with addictions themselves. I try to help them get connected to housing. I went back to school at 35 years old. I went to college, got a social service worker diploma, something I never thought possible for myself. And then at 37, I got my Bachelor of Social Work with a minor in criminology at university. Again, another accomplishment I never thought I could do. Did really well, graduated at 40 years old. And for the last almost 8 years, or more, been working with individuals with mental health, addictions, homelessness, just a wide variety of social work. And so something I always thought I wanted to do as a child, but I didn't think I had it in me. I was a waitress for 20 plus years.
Amazing. I feel like it's very rare, the kind of work that you're doing, and that's fantastic. I mean, you wouldn't be a stranger to just how much we can lose when we become dependent on different things for our regulation. So Loretta, tell us a little bit more about what life was like just before you joined us. What was going on in your life? What had you tried? How were you feeling? Anything you can share?
Okay, yeah. So I found myself, like, I was always a social drinker from a young age, on the weekends, that type of thing. Felt like I needed to drink to fit in with, my social peers, clubbing on the weekends, that kind of thing. I grew up in an alcoholic family. My mother was an alcoholic. She passed away at 49 years old in 2006 from cirrhosis of the liver, alcoholism. I was in the room when she passed. My father figures growing up were alcoholics as well. So I never got that far into it, as far as I believe, but I found myself using it a little bit more over the last few years to cope with a lot of past traumas, past hurts from childhood, relationships, friendships. Had a lot of bad things happen over the course of my life, and then I think I started drinking a little bit more wine at times because I felt alone. So before, it was I just had this realization, this kind of epiphany recently, a couple weeks ago, that I initially started drinking to fit in with people and not feel alone. And then I've kind of found myself after work, relying on a few glasses of wine because I'm depressed, I'm alone. I'm depressed about the stuff that has happened in the past. I've got grief and, a lot of negative feelings in me. So, and I realized that, you drink alcohol to try to numb the feelings and to try to get out of that depression, but instead it amplifies it.
Yeah.
And alcohol is a depressant. We know this. And so it wasn't making me feel better. I kept telling myself over the last, I don't know how many years, I want to cut this out completely. And although I was nowhere near, how many years?
How many years were you trying to, like, once you reached the stage that I got to cut this out of my life, how many years past that point did you continue trying?
probably since my mother's death, probably 20 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So a long 2 decade long struggle. By the end of it, clearly you were using it to cope with your emotions, cope with loneliness, cope with boredom. So in all honesty, alcohol was your solution for all of these things. Okay. I feel like that is precisely what probably millions of people right now, especially if you're watching this, I hope you can relate, because that's what it was for me. That's what it is for the majority of people that find themselves just stuck in that loop, that pattern. So okay, so that's what the situation was when we met. Then I assume you probably saw one of my ads. We talked a little bit. We hopped on a
On Instagram,
call.
yeah.
So what was that experience like? Like, how were you? Like, after you spoke with me, clearly, obviously you jumped in with us. So what was it about the program or about speaking with me that made you say yes to this?
It's unlike any other program there honestly is out there. I attended a few AA meetings when I was younger. When I first left Toronto, I went back to my hometown. Back that was 2012. I went to a few AA meetings. Didn't feel like I fit in there at all. Tried to get into some books and stuff, and just found myself, losing interest. It seems like all of those programs are just kind of built around either meetings or just discussing, alcoholism in general. But something about your program was, I think, that really attracted me was the breathing, the science behind it, how it affects your nervous system. Learning more about all of that. The fact that I'd have a one-on-one coach that I could discuss things with weekly, the group calls. All of that. And at first, yeah, it scared me at first because I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this, big commitment. And, knowing the financial part, like, is that going to work? That type of thing. But I thought, you know what? I've tried other things. I've tried white knuckling it. I've tried, just cutting back. And yeah, sure, you can cut back for a few days. Great. But I mean, it's like, it's everywhere going. Like I told you before, you go outside and just right at your convenience store now. So, I mean, it's just so accessible. And this program I felt deserved a shot. And I just liked how you did things differently. Like even watching some of your short videos on Instagram talking about the science behind it, the nervous system, all of that attracted me to something. Okay, let's give this a shot,
I'm so glad you did.
I'm glad I did too. I'm really glad I did. This has been an amazing program, and I feel better than I felt in a long time.
Awesome. Just to be clear and to provide some context, we're not done with the program yet. We're about halfway through, right? So the reason why I like to sort of do this about halfway through is because then we get to follow up a few months later and see, okay, how did the rest of it go? But also because you've turned the page. Things have shifted for you, right? So you had the call, you felt a little bit nervous because of the investment, but you're like, let's do this anyways. And, I remember saying, okay, well, on one hand, you've got this investment. On the other hand, you're bleeding money every month, whether it's $200 a month, $400 a month, depending on how you're feeling, right? So when we do the comparison, it's like, okay, shit, like the money's getting spent regardless. Like there's no question about that. So walk me through what it was like in the first, let's say as soon as you got started. When did you start noticing things shifting? When did you start, uncovering stuff? And like, what was that experience like after you got started?
I'd say it probably took, to be honest with you, because we started a few months ago now. Is it March, April, 3 months ago? So I'd say probably took a few weeks to kind of, get into the groove of things. I remember hearing lots of talk about, the meditations and the avatar coming up. And so once I think I really got into really practicing the meditations and the breath work and having, more of a routine there, I noticed a shift probably within the first month. It took a little bit. There was ebbs and flows for sure. And Yeah, there was points where I still felt like, kind of. It took like, how do you say it? Like, it just took a while to kind of get that motivation. But now, when I miss a day or something, then I can feel it. I can feel it. Like, I feel better. Like, I look forward to my morning meditations, and yeah, I've always been somebody that's kind of struggled with maintaining focus on certain things, and the discipline part. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I definitely started noticing major difference after my meditations
Amazing. I love to hear
and the
that.
group
And
calls.
yeah. I mean, each of the things that you mentioned is doing a specific thing, right? The group is the group. The group is where we make our connections, where we feel seen and feel heard and feel like we're not crazy, right?
Exactly,
It's
someone else is
something
going through it.
that everybody goes through. Then you've got your one-on-one, which is, and I designed this way, a lot of trial and error to get to this winning formula where the one-on-one is there for your daily accountability, for your progress, for your week in, week out, core focus, laser focus. And then the group is there supplementing it all along with the breath work. The breath work is where you're learning the regulation in real time. So when you combine all of these things together, along with the different phases of how things are structured, it's inevitable that your body is going to start experiencing some shifts. So starting was a little bit, it took a little bit to get going. I would say about a couple of weeks. I remember specifically, as no journey is perfect, and I don't even preach perfection in the sense that it doesn't exist, right? All we have is the pursuit of it. And one of those things is, even with myself, is when people say, and you probably had the same thing, right? You said it was 20 years that you were like, I got to do something about this, but then 20 years passed. There's something scary about this forever term that I cannot ever drink again. And that freaks us out. And
Yeah.
we don't even give ourselves a chance. And the reality is that fear that you felt in all those years, and even up till the point you said, all right, let's do this, was a product of a brain, a perspective, a mindset that was formed with certain experiences leading up to that point. But today, now that you've had enough time focusing on the new lifestyle, the new version of yourself that we have been building, do you have that same fear? Or is it just gone?
No, I don't. I think it's gone. To be honest with you, I do feel like I don't have that same fear now.
Yeah. And what would you attribute that to?
I think the fact of just being maybe more patient with myself, being more confident, trusting the process, taking things one day at a time, literally.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and if a slip does happen, which it did once, I'm not gonna beat myself up over it. You learn from it. You feel bad at first, of course,
You
but
bring
you
up a
learn from it, and
very,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
that's okay. I was just gonna say, you kind of jump back on that horse, right? You don't just accept defeat and be like, "Oh, I messed up once. It's over. I just gonna go back to it." I went back to the program. I was honest right away with yourself and my coach, and told them right away what had happened. I wasn't gonna hide it. I don't like hiding things.
Absolutely. And I'm so glad you didn't, because let's talk about that, with your permission.
Of course.
So I remember it clearly. I'm sure you do as well. And again, the reason why I want to talk about this is because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves. That's in fact one of the reasons why we're here in the first place. And part of that pressure is, look, nothing is perfect. And, it is, mistakes happen, but it's how we perceive them is what makes it different. As an example, in AA, because this happened after you had done 30 days, right? So you had reached a significant milestone
No,
in the journey, or close to 30
close
days.
to 30 days. 18. I remember 18.
Okay, yeah. So 18.
Close to 3 weeks. Yeah,
So that's still significant, right? So you
it
were
is.
3 days away from 21, which is the 3 week mark. Um, but the reality is, you had a vision, you said yes to it, you got going, and then you had a setback, right? If this was AA, if this was, if you had, let's say you had received a chip or something for a milestone, you would have had to give it back, right?
Yeah.
There comes a lot of shame with that, in terms of, fuck, I lost it all. Like, I had something and I lost it. And what did we do instead? You showed up to the call. You said, hey guys, this is what happened. We're like, okay, what happened? Let's break it down. We broke it down. We identified precisely the moment, that fleeting moment, the cart walking by and your brain just jumping to an automated thing. I want to highlight that these automated systems take years and years and years to establish themselves. So obviously it's going to take a little bit of practice and effort to undo those patterns. In that moment, the automation kicked in. You regretted it instantly. I mean, that's what I remember. But it's what we did after that is so fascinating. So do you want to, tell us a little bit more about, this I guess this instance that I'm talking about?
Setback. Yeah. Yeah. I was going home to visit family on the train, and it was a 3-hour train ride. I was browsing social media. Someone I had met somewhere earlier that day that kind of set off my spidey senses. That maybe I know this person from, past associations and past friends, or maybe he's connected to them. I don't know what it was. It just something stood out about my interaction with this individual. And I found myself on the train heading back to my family's house, and I started browsing social media. And doesn't this same guy that I just met that day pop up on mutual friends lists? And it kind of sent me spiraling, because a lot of bad things happened to me from his associations, the people he associated with. And just my mind just started going crazy, thinking, trying to understand what all of this meant. And I just felt like a tension in my stomach. And I felt like just that. I remember my coach even asked me, where did you feel the sensations? And I felt like a big knot in my stomach, and I felt nauseous, and I got, scared and afraid of, like, can I trust this person that I've just met? If I see them again, there was just a lot of things going through my mind at this time. And the cart was going by. They on the train, they have alcohol that, so it was the evening. They go by with their pop and their juice and their alcohol. And immediately I just, I'll take a glass of wine, please. And that turned into 2 glasses of wine on the ride. And I nursed those 2 drinks for quite a while. At that part, I was glad I didn't spend more money. But throughout the weekend, I still had a few more drinks, because I kind of I felt defeated already. But once I left and came back home, I picked myself up and dusted myself off, came clean. Like I'd already told my coach about it, and just worked through all of those emotions that I was feeling, what I could have done differently, what I've learned from this experience. Like, I could have went into the washroom. I could have practiced one of your breathing exercises. I could have jumped on the phone. I could have called my coach. I could have texted her. But just that automated response. I wanted a drink, and I wanted it, and I took it. And I've had some triggers along the way, significant triggers since that episode, with similar things in people.
Before we get into that, because that's, I really want to dig into that. You said that I learned something about myself from that. So what was that you learned from that entire couple of weeks, that weekend, and then the week after, where we were, focused on this? What came up for you in terms of what you learned?
I learned that I have other options. I learned that I don't have to rely on that drink to get me through it. I can do other things. I can write out my 7 whys exercises.
Right.
I can practice breathing. I can just take a few moments to sit in my feelings and process what I'm feeling. That's been another thing in this journey. I've been able to finally learn to just sit in silence and process what I'm feeling,
What's happening? Yeah.
accept it, not judge it, not beat myself up over it. Some days are, yeah, sure, some days are easier and harder than others, but yeah, I've learned how to become more resilient and stronger without having to just pick up that drink.
Amazing. So now we come to the big moments. It's one thing to have hindsight after something happens. It's a completely other thing to apply what you learned the next time the situation comes up. And lo and
Yes.
behold, you were presented with not one, but at least 2 or 3 instances where it was the exact same anxiety, exact same thing, maybe even worse in some cases, but you dealt with it in a different way.
Yeah.
So what was
Sure.
that experience like?
Just not, yeah. Like when the temptation to have that drink comes into my mind, stopping myself and telling myself I've learned other tools that I can utilize to help me get through this situation. I've learned to message my coach, tell her what's going on, and that kind of helps. I think doing that first kind of pumps the brakes and kind of stops you from hiding it and just running it. It's like, okay, I've already vocalized what's going on. Now I'm just going to take some time for myself. I'm going to either practice breathing meditations if I can right now, or I'm going to, distract myself through maybe reading something or listening to something motivational, writing my feelings out, anything, go for a walk, get out in nature. That's a big thing too. I learned to do that more, where before I would just kind of sit and wallow in those feelings. But
Yeah.
now I'll push myself to get out and have
I
more
love that.
mindful walks.
I love that. So what you're talking about is pure behavioral change, which is the
Absolutely.
hardest thing to do.
Yes, it
And
is.
you're doing it. You're doing it because for the first time, you're seeing the science behind how all of these things work, applying them to your life, seeing it work in real time, which tells your brain, holy shit, it does work, right? So
It does.
that brings me to the next question that I'm curious about, which is everybody has that light bulb moment, where it hits you that I have changed, or it hits you that, oh my God, things are actually working, like things are changing, something is happening. And it's a beautiful moment, right? So when you joined, you had a doubt, there was a dark cloud over you, and then even in the beginning, 18 days in, we had a slip, which can really, really derail things, but you didn't let that happen. So what was the moment where the light bulb went on, where you're like, whoa, things are different now, like this is working? What was that exact moment like, if you can recall?
Maybe reaching my 30 days. Maybe reaching that, because I can't remember a time when I've ever been 30 days without a drink. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Yes, done that. Maybe close to a month before. But reaching my 30 days and then being motivated to go further, and then looking forward to the 60 days, and practicing, like I said, the more I practiced my morning meditation and avatar, the more that I got out for walks, and as I kept joining the group calls, writing down how I'm feeling more, because I used to journal lots of years ago, but got away from that. I don't know if I could, like, besides the 30 days, and maybe realizing that even after that slip, those few big triggers I had that I worked through, I think that was a big light bulb moment too. Like if I can get through that and then that and then that, then I can continue to get through these things because people were definitely trying and testing my patience, I feel, in a lot of ways. And I didn't succumb. Oh, and another reason I know how it's working is I've been out 3 or 4 times now in social gatherings where people have been drinking around me, and it hasn't bothered me in the least, which I'm shocked at. Uh, like like I've discussed with my coach, what like, do you plan on bringing anything? What are you going to do? Are you going to bring some pop? Are you going to bring some juice? Are you going to bring some non-alcoholic beverages? Have a few options at your hands. And that has worked big time. Yeah, going to a baby shower, going out with family, going out with a friend one night.
Baby showers are one of the worst
Right?
places for someone who's trying not to drink. I mean, it
Yeah, and
depends
I
on the
was
crowd, but
true,
yeah.
true. And I was like, and another big thing was being honest with maybe not everybody, but a few close people that, hey, this is what I'm doing. And they just asked me, like, are you going to be okay if I drink around you? And I said, absolutely. Thank you for asking, but absolutely. And each time I did it was like a test, and I realized, hey, I can do this.
I
I can
love
do
it.
this.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, lastly, you were someone who was on the fence once. You decided to take a chance on yourself. Decided to, despite feeling the fear, despite feeling, what if it doesn't work? What if I fail? Oh, it's so expensive. Oh my God. All those things. Yet
Oh,
here
yeah.
you are. This is your reward for saying yes in the moment where your body was screaming with anxiety, but you said, no, I'm going to do this, right? What would be your advice to someone who's watching this, sitting on the fence, just like you, wondering if things will ever change, looking at this and thinking, should I book a call with them and see if this is going to be right for me? What would be your advice for someone like that?
My advice would be to just go for it. Make the call. You're not committed to anything. This is a free consultation call where you're going to learn about the program and its benefits and what you can expect. And then it's up to you to decide. I thought about taking a few more days to process it, but then I just said to myself, listen, this is something that you've been wanting to do for a long time now. This is your opportunity. There is a reason why you found Hamza's, video on Instagram the way you did. Something made you click on it. What have I got? Like, what have I got to lose? What have you got to lose? Like you said, you're going to spend your money regardless, whether it's on this or that or the next thing. That money is going out somewhere. You're making an investment in yourself, and you are going to get reaps of benefits from it. You're going to get the one-on-one calls. You're going to get the meditations. You're going to get, I know that at any point in time, I don't have to wait for that weekly call with my coach. I can message her right away. She will respond. We can talk. It's not like we can only talk on this day. Same thing with you, Hamza. I know that if I need to speak to you or if I have any questions or concerns, you are there. And the group calls, if you decide to jump into this, which I hope you do, whoever's watching, I hope that you take advantage of those group calls because a lot of people don't join them. They can still do their thing and, learn the course content and watch and learn, but there's something different about being on a group call. And yeah, it's not in person, but hey, we still see each other. You can turn the video on, you can turn the video off. You're still there connecting with others going through the same thing. And that motivates you to want to continue on this journey. And it's been an amazing journey, and I really don't want it to end.
Well, like I said, we have some ways to go, and of course, we've got the aftercare program as well. But just to
Absolutely.
break down what you said, by the way, that's incredible. So that's the best advice I've ever heard someone sitting in your seat give to someone who might be on the fence. So thank you for that. So guys, what Loretta is talking about, all the different layers, she mentioned a few different things. The way this program is structured and the reason why we're available, that, you can message us anytime and we'll respond. There's a reason for that. The reason is, first and foremost, before a coach, I'm a husband and a father of 3 little ones, which immediately I've had to make the decision. Do I want to sacrifice time with my kids to be working full speed, or do I want to sort of cap my life in a way that allows time to spend with the kids? You can guess which one I chose. And the downside of that is we don't have a massive, huge program. We have less than 100 people. And the reason why we are able to do the stuff that we've done for Loretta and the hundreds of others is because of this. Because of the fact that I know my strengths and I've capped the program at a pace, at a size where every single person gets all the individual attention they need when they need it. Everything tailored and customized to them, customized breathwork, customized herbal detox. For those who wanted customized nutrition plans, customized movement plans, workout plans, all of it is tailored to you. To get something like this, you would have to pay at least $50,000 to $100,000 to these fancy rehabs that have all these customizations for you. Here, it's a fraction, like not even a tenth of that. So the reality is that you've got 3 layers. You've got, first and foremost, you've got a one-on-one coach. By the way, our coaches are not people that I just, you got a coaching degree, you can join us. You have to do the program and you have to succeed. And you have to succeed in such a way that puts you in a position to help others. So every single coach joined, dealt with it, went through the program, came out on top, and are now in a position to help others. And they all have unique qualities that they bring to the table. Then there's me, and that's where all the group comes in. I do all the breathwork classes, I do all the group coaching, I do all of it. And that is my way of making sure nothing is slipping through the cracks. Then we've got our community, and then we've got our courses, then we've got our workshops, different things. All of it is addressing a certain gap and a certain limitation that you think you have. So the coaching is your accountability. The group is your connection. The courses and the home practice, the recorded breathwork videos and all the recordings that are completely customized, that is your home practice. That is your continuity. That is your progress, right? So all of it is coming together. So to anyone who's watching, this is not an open enrollment. We do have very limited spots, which is why the only way you can join is to have a call with me. I take all these calls myself. There's a reason for that too. I could have other people doing this, but I want to have a personal connection with every single person that joins us. That is a non-negotiable for me. And that is why I take these calls myself, which also means I don't have a ton of time. So what you need to do is there's a link in the description. You click on that, book a meeting with me. We're going to have an open and honest conversation. If it seems like a good fit, if I feel like I can guarantee your success, we'll invite you into the program and we'll talk about how it all works. And if I'm not able to help, I'll let you know that too. And I'll point you in the right direction for you. Can't do any of that without having a conversation with you first. So that's it. Go ahead, click the link, and I hope to see you on the calendar. But Loretta, I sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for your time today. It's absolutely lovely hearing your journey. You're such an inspiration. People are always thrilled to hear from you in our group meetings, and I love how consistent you are. So now it's onwards to phase 4. That is where we are headed.
We are headed there, yes, and I look forward to it.
Absolutely. So Loretta, any last thing you'd like to add before we call it a meeting?
Just believe in yourself that you can do it, and you'll do it. Things happen for a reason. You've tried other avenues before that haven't worked. You've got nothing to lose by trying this program. You owe it to yourself.
Amazing.
And thank you, Hamza, for this program, because it truly has been life-changing and inspiring.
That means everything to me. Thank you so much. So everyone who was watching, thank you for your time. And once again, if you want to talk with me, the link is in the description of this video. I look forward to it. Loretta, thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
will
you for
see
having me.
you on today's call at 4 o'clock, I believe.
4 o'clock. I will be
I'll
there.
see
It's
you
already
then.
in my head.
I'll
Yay, 4
see
o'clock.
you
Come on.
then.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty,
Thank you
okay.
so much for your time.
Thank
Take
you.
care.